What's up, YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. And in today's video, I want to talk about the SEC football spring power rankings for 2023. But if you haven't, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And by doing so, it greatly helps out my channel and it helps me grow as a content creator. This is an interesting, topic, guys. And I just wanted to go over, uh, this article that I watched, and I was reading it, and it was talking about the SEC spring football power rankings, and I'm gonna just read them off to you guys, and potentially get your opinion on it at the end. And of course, I'm gonna start with number one. Everybody should know who's number one in the power ranking right now, and it's Georgia. And like I said, went back to back, won it all. Back to back, did a really really good job, and Kirby Smart did something that's very very hard to do, guys, going back to back. And he did it in a way where looked kind of like how Alabama looked when we first, came on the scene with Nick Saban. Doing it with good defense and running the ball. Georgia's always good, but they always been knocking on the door. And they're finally the kings of college football right now, and they're doing a heck of a job. But I'm gonna read off some things need to watch out for on offense. Of course uh, they're gonna have another quarterback. Stetson Bennett is gone. Stetson Bennett seems like he's been there forever, and they're gonna have a competition at the quarterback position. Got Carson Beck and Brock Vandagriff, and then they got Connor Stockton. In my opinion, Carson Beck probably be the guy, but Brock Vandagriff is a good player as well as Gunnar Stockton. He's really, really good. He might make a snap at it, but Carson Beck, in my opinion, would be the guy. So look for that, competition to go on, especially they got Mike Bobo as their offensive coordinator. It's going to be interesting to see what Georgia does, offensively. Now, defensively, they're losing some guys like Jalen Carter, Robert Beal, Christian Smith, and Keely Ringo. All those guys are gone. But Georgia recruits at a very, very high level. They got a lot of guys that can come in. But it's going to be interesting to see what they do defensively. Um, they shown last season that they can still look good defensively, guys. They lost a lot of guys last year. I think about 15 different guys on their defense, and still looked good. So really, really good team, man. They're definitely number one right now in the power ranking. Now, at number two, they have my Alabama Crimson Tide. It's going to be interesting to see what we do offensively. We bring in Tommy Reeves as our play caller from Notre Dame. He has a heavy emphasis of using tight ends and O-line play. So I expect the running backs and the O-line to really, really step up this upcoming season. Another year under Eric Wolfer as the offensive line coach. Tommy Reeves, like I said, like to use the tight end. So I expect tight end play to take a huge step. And then running game, a lot of talented running backs like Jace McClellan coming back, Rodell Williams. And we got guys like Justice Haynes coming in. So that offensive line play, I'm expecting it to step up. But Alabama has questions at the quarterback position. Bryce Young's no longer going to be there. We have guys like Jalen Milroe and Ty Simpson. Who's going to step up at the quarterback position? That's going to be very key for Alabama. I think quarterback position and the O-line, for Alabama to do anything offensively this upcoming season. Defensively, we got some guys coming back, but we're losing some guys on the back end. We're losing Eli Riggs, Brian Branch, Jordan Battle, DeMarco Helms. We're losing those guys, But, hopefully we got this new class coming in. We got some guys like Caleb Downs coming in. We still have Kool-Aid, in my opinion, the number one cornerback in the country. A lot of guys coming back, we got Kevin Steele as the defensive coordinator. Like I said in my previous videos, pretty good at developing defensive linemen and stuff like that, and just calls a good defense. Can't read too much into what he did at Miami. We also got Kevin Steele coming over, already over there. So I expect this Alabama defense to look totally different, under Kevin Steele. Pete Gardner's now over there at Ole Miss, so I expect a different mindset from this defense. It's going to probably look like the whole team, offensively and defensively. I think Alabama's going to come back to how they used to be back when Nick Saban first came there. But I can definitely see Alabama at number 2 right now. And number 3, they have LSU. You know, this is a team, like I said, really, really good on the first-year coach, Brian Kelly. Was able to beat Alabama his first season coming over, and we played them in Baton Rouge, and tough environment, always a tough environment to play in. But to watch out for them offensively, who's going to be the guy? Jaden Daniels was the quarterback last season. Definitely needs to work on his passing game, but definitely a threat run the ball. But Garrett Nussmeier, this might be the guy going into a spring that everybody need to have their eyes on. He might unseat, Jaden Daniels. In my opinion, he's the better passer of the two. Definitely has some things, some offensive players around him that he can play off of. Malik Neighbors, guys like that. So this LSU offense, they bring a lot of experience back on that offense, and definitely a team to watch out for offensively. Defensively, Matt House, he's the coordinator. They got a significant turnover in the secondary, so they got some transfers to come in. They're trying to fill in that spot at in the secondary. LSU is always known to have a good secondary, and they definitely need to shore up the back end on their defense. But up front, I think they're going to be pretty good. Got one of the best linebackers in the country, and I think it's Harold Perkins. So I think I'm pronouncing his name right, but definitely a good defense. Coming up front. Just the secondary they got to shore up. But LSU offensively, watch out. They're going to be really, really good. Tennessee, number 4. Joe Milton, it's going to be his team. Looked really, really good in the Orange Bowl. Was able to beat Clemson. And then they got the 5-star freshman, Nico. I'm not even going to pronounce his last name, but 2 good quarterbacks. He's going to be a quarterback of the future, but I think Joe Milton is going to be the guy. He has a lot of talent, man, around Joe Milton offensively. Again, they're running back. They're losing Cedric Tillman and Jalen Hyatt, but they still got really, really good wideouts still, and I think they still got Brew McCoy. So a lot of good guys, on that offense. And Tennessee's offense, I think, is going to take a step forward. Defensively, they're bringing in Tim Banks. He's going to have to improve this group. I think the secondary was one of their worst they've had in a while. They're definitely going to have to shore that up on the back end. Same as LSU. They got to shore up that secondary. But Tennessee didn't do too bad last season. Stopping the run last season, they were really, really good. And they was actually running the ball offensively first before they was passing. So a team in Tennessee definitely, need to watch out for. I can see them at number 4. Number 5, Ole Miss. They're going to have a huge quarterback battle. They got Jackson Dart, who started last season, but they also have Spencer Sanders coming in from Oklahoma State, and they got Walker Howard from LSU. That quarterback battle, in my opinion, is going to be the most interesting quarterback battle in the SEC. Who's going to be that guy? Then they got Quinshawn Judkins at running back. This guy was a beast of a player last season, running back, just a freshman, and was able to put up a lot of numbers, on the ground for Ole Miss last season. Thing is, defensively, now they have, Pete Golden, former Alabama defensive coordinator. He's going to be tasked with, bringing in and bringing up that Ole Miss defense. Pete Golden, he was one of the top, believe it or not, one of the top assistants in 2023. So I think he won an award for the best assistant, if I'm not saying. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does with Ole Miss defense. It's going to be weird, seeing him over there at Ole Miss on the sidelines calling plays for him. But I would like to think Lane Kiffin is excited about that, having him, call his defense. And it's going to be interesting to see what Ole Miss does. Arkansas, number 6. KJ Jefferson coming back. That was huge for Arkansas. And they also bringing in Dan Enos as the offensive coordinator. Wherever this guy touches, guys, he improves the quarterback play. He just came from Maryland, helped Talia Tagovailoa improve passing-wise. If he get KJ Jefferson, playing at a high level. Look out, Arkansas is going to be really, really good. Um, going to be interesting to see what they do defensively, though. They got Travis Williams coming in. He's a new coordinator. Arkansas gave up 30.6 points a game and struggled mightily against the pass in 2022. So another team that needs to fix their secondary. It's kind of weird. A lot of SEC teams last year wasn't really good in the passing game, including ours. But I expect all these teams in the SEC to shore up their back end of their defenses. Number 7, South Carolina. What can I say about South Carolina? These guys, they shocked some teams last season. Spencer Rattler was up and down, but when he was on, guys, he was really, really on. They're losing some guys, on their team, but definitely watch out for South Carolina. They're playing beam of ball right now. It's going to be interesting. They got a tough game. I think, if I'm not mistaken, their second game is against Georgia again this year. So definitely going to have to tighten up and get better. But their goal should be able to get, try to get a bowl game, consistent bowl game. Like I said, got some good wins over some teams last season. And it's going to be interesting to see what they do. They're losing some guys, but expect South Carolina to make some noise this season, guys. I think they're really, really going to step up and do better than what they did last season. So could be a shocker in the SEC East. Number 8, Kentucky. They're bringing in Liam Cohen, guys. He's returning from the NFL. When he was there, Will Levis was really, really good, at the quarterback position. And, he had that offensive line playing good as well. So Kentucky got to build their offensive line again, though, this season. They struggled mightily last season, and they're definitely going to have to step up. But their defense, was kind of shocking last season. Each level of the defense suffered some sort of turnover. And the biggest question is going to be at cornerback. And they got some transfers to come in to shore up that. So it's going to be interesting to see what Kentucky does. Kentucky normally has a good defense, ever since Mike Stoops been there. So, but I think they're going to be fine offensively. Just got to shore up their defense, Mississippi State, Will Rogers coming back. This guy been in college football, it seems like forever. Really, really good, experienced quarterback. Mississippi State definitely has an advantage going into 2023 with him as their quarterback. They're bringing in Kevin Barbay as the offensive coordinator from Appalachian State. Appalachian State beat, Texas A&M last season. Appalachian State always been just a game team. You got to be aware of putting Appalachian State on your schedule because they can shock you. And Kevin Barbay coming over, joining with, Will Rogers. It's going to be interesting to see. His play calling is very aggressive. It's going to be interesting to see what he does with Will Rogers, and he might change up the offense a little bit. So that's going to be interesting. Defensively, man, they're losing 4 starters, and Emmanuel Forbes is gone. This guy was a beast as a cornerback last season. But ever since, Zach Arnett has been the defensive coordinator at Mississippi State had a top 5 defense in the SEC. So defensively, I think Mississippi State is going to be fine. And, they come in at number 9. Number 10, Texas A&M. Offensively struggled last season. But they bring in Bobby Petrino. And to help Connor Wayman. I thought this should have been the guy last season to play quarterback. When he came in, he brought a spark to their offense. And Bobby Petrino going to be calling the plays. Jimbo Fisher is going to step back, let Bobby Petrino call the plays. We all know Bobby Petrino is a great play caller. And it's going to be interesting to see what he does with Connor Wayman. The Aggies defense, I'm going to be honest, even though at times they didn't look really good, Texas A&M really got had good defenses, last couple seasons while they've been there. They're going to have to get them back on track, though. They ranked one of the best SEC defenses in 2022. And this unit, they allowed 28.1 points a game in the league play. So they're going to have to get back to that stingy defense that they had. They were good, in at times. They had a really, really good defensive line, but they're going to have to shore up what they did last season and tighten it up. But look for Texas A&M defensively to look pretty good, and offensively look really, really good. And they also have Ole Miss's running backs coach over there. And watch out for Texas A&M offensively, guys. They're not going to be bad offensively like they were last season. So they come in at number 10. Number 11, Auburn. Robbie Ashford was the quarterback. They bringing in Philip Montgomery as their offensive coordinator. I think he's going to help Robbie Ashford get to that point where, he can play good football. Philip Montgomery, he helped, guys like Robert Griffin III win the Heisman. So he can definitely help Robert Ashford. Ashford was a threat with his legs last season, but just had to work on his accuracy passing the ball downfield. And I think Philip Montgomery is going to do a good job. Defensively, they got Ron Roberts from Baylor, really, really good defensive-minded coach. They coach up the likes of, Pete Golden, Dave Aranda, who he was coaching under at, Baylor. Has a long list of guys, and he's a veteran mind. And I think he's going to turn that Auburn defense around, guys. Auburn defense wasn't really good last season, but I expect him to change that Auburn defense. He's very, very big on, havoc rate. And it's going to be interesting to see what he does defensively for Auburn. So look out for Auburn. Number 12, you have the Florida Gators. They struggled last season, they definitely going to have to step up, offensively. And I think they're bringing in a transfer, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Graham Mertz, he's coming in, Can he step up for Florida, offensively, they weren't really, really that good. Just overall, the whole team wasn't good. Defensively, they were bad as well. They have since, they took Austin Armstrong from Alabama, and he's now their defensive coordinator. Austin Armstrong is a young defensive-minded guy. He greatly helped, Southern Miss's defense, and it's going to be interesting to see what he does for the Florida defense. Florida's task, with turning that program around. Billy Napier, he's going to have to get on the ground running with them, but they fall to number 12 in the power ranking. So it's going to be interesting to see what Florida does. Missouri, Brady Cook, offensively, they're going to have to step up. Gave Georgia a scare last season, Missouri, they was a tough team last season. They're really, really good, defensively, I wouldn't say good overall, but they brought a lot of pressure, last season. And it's going to be interesting to see what Missouri does, this upcoming season. You never know what they're going to do. Like I said, Brady Cook was sidelined due to a surgery last season. But they got a new coordinator in Kirby Moore. And you're going to get an extended look at Miami transfer Jake Garcia and redshirt freshman Sam Horn at quarterback. So it's going to be interesting to see what Missouri does, this upcoming season. Vanderbilt comes at, number 14, can A.J. Swan take a big step forward? This is a guy, he could come in and make some noise for the Commodores last season. Vanderbilt got some good wins. I can't remember who they beat last season, but I think they beat Florida, if I'm not mistaken. That's why I'm saying Florida got a lot of things to turn around. But Vanderbilt was shockingly pretty good than they normally been for the last couple of seasons. And defensively, they got a lot to work on. They have ranked last in the SEC in scoring defense in each of Clark Lee's 2 seasons at the helm. So he's definitely going to have to shore that up. But it's no surprise that Vanderbilt is number 14. But they greatly improved from the season before that. But those are the power rankings. Pretty much like how I thought they would go. Like I said, Georgia at number 1, Alabama at number 2, LSU number 3, Tennessee at number 4. Ole Miss, you can switch Tennessee and LSU. They can swap number 3 and number 4 spot. Ole Miss did pretty good last season. Arkansas is a team to look out for. But that's pretty much, how I would have scored, did the power rankings for the spring ball. But like I said, it's just spring ball rankings. It's going to be interesting to see what the rankings will look like, in fall camp, But what do you guys think? Leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. And once again, guys, if you haven't, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll definitely be back with more college football content. Thanks, guys, and roll tide.